5 Neighbors you must avoid. As we age, growing older brings unique challenges and blessings. One of the most significant aspects of aging is the community around us. The people we live near can profoundly affect our emotional well-being, physical safety, and overall quality of life. While nurturing positive relationships with neighbors is essential, there are certain types of neighbors that seniors, particularly those aged 65 and above, should be cautious about engaging with closely. Here's a thoughtful exploration of 5 types of neighbors to avoid to ensure your golden years remain peaceful, secure, and fulfilling. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. The gossip spreader. In our golden years, the value of peace and privacy cannot be overstated. Yet, among the neighbors who share our community, there are some who thrive on gossip, endlessly discussing others, sharing private matters, and spinning stories that may harm reputations. While gossip may seem trivial at first glance, its effects can be far-reaching, especially for seniors who cherish their dignity and serenity. The gossip spreader often comes across as friendly, someone who appears to know everything about everyone. Their conversations might start innocently, drawing you in with small talk or neighborhood updates. However, before you know it, they may pry into your personal affairs, asking seemingly harmless questions that, if answered, could quickly become fodder for their stories. For seniors, this kind of neighbor poses a particular risk during a stage in life when trust and genuine connections matter most. Having your personal stories twisted or shared without permission can be deeply hurtful, leading to feelings of betrayal, making you question others' intentions, and even discouraging you from participating in community life. Worse yet, this gossip can erode the overall harmony of the neighborhood, creating unnecessary divisions and conflicts. The emotional toll of dealing with a gossip spreader is significant. They may plant seeds of doubt about others in the community, subtly encouraging you to distrust neighbors who might otherwise be supportive friends. You may find yourself in uncomfortable situations, pressured to take sides or remain silent about issues that don't concern you. What makes gossip so insidious is that it can turn a once peaceful environment into a place of tension and unease. Instead of feeling safe and secure in your neighborhood, you might feel like you're constantly under scrutiny, with your actions and choices becoming subjects of unwanted speculation. How do you navigate such relationships? The key is to set boundaries with kindness and firmness. When interacting with a gossip-prone neighbor, share only neutral or general information about your life. Deflect personal questions gracefully by changing the subject to something less sensitive, like the weather or local events. It's also helpful to be aware of their patterns, recognize when the conversation begins to steer into gossipy territory, and gently steer it back on track. Above all, remember that you don't need to participate in or listen to gossip. Silence is a powerful tool. By refusing to engage or react, you send a clear message that you value privacy and respect over idle chatter. When gossip fades in the absence of an audience, its power diminishes. Finally, don't let the presence of one gossip spreader overshadow the many positive relationships you can build in your community. Seek out those who value integrity, respect your boundaries, and bring positivity into your life. In the end, the peace you preserve by avoiding gossip will create room for more meaningful connections, allowing you to enjoy your years with dignity and joy. 2. The boundary disregarder. As we grow older, the value of personal space and boundaries becomes increasingly apparent. Our time, energy, and peace of mind are precious, and maintaining control over these aspects of our lives is key to living a fulfilling and dignified old age. Yet, in every community, some neighbors seem unable or unwilling to respect these boundaries. They may not intend harm, but their actions can create an overwhelming sense of intrusion that disrupts the harmony of your life. The boundary disregarder often appears in various forms. They might show up unannounced at your door, expecting your time and attention without considering your needs or schedule. A simple hello at the mailbox can turn into an extended visit, leaving you feeling drained or pressured to entertain them. In other instances, they might overstep physical boundaries, using your driveway, borrowing tools without asking, or letting their pets roam into your yard. Their actions, though often framed as casual or harmless, can chip away at the sense of security and autonomy you've worked hard to maintain. For seniors, especially those living alone or with limited physical capability, these invasions of space can be more than just an inconvenience. They can lead to feelings of vulnerability, frustration, or even resentment. You might find yourself dreading certain interactions or feeling cornered into situations where saying no feels impossible. Over time, the emotional burden of constantly managing such interactions can erode the peace you've cultivated in your home. What makes dealing with a boundary disregarded particularly challenging is the delicate balance required to address their behavior. Often, these individuals don't realize the discomfort they cause or believe their actions are justified because of their friendly intentions. This makes direct confrontation seem unnecessarily harsh, leaving you feeling trapped between maintaining neighborly goodwill and protecting your space. The solution lies in assertive yet compassionate communication. Begin by setting clear and consistent boundaries, not just in your words but also in your actions. If a neighbor drops by uninvited, politely let them know you're busy or unavailable. Over time, this reinforces the idea that your time and space deserve respect. Similarly, if someone borrows something without asking or encroaches on your property, a gentle but direct reminder of your preferences can go a long way. It's also crucial to recognize your right to prioritize your well-being over others' expectations. Many seniors feel pressured to be accommodating, fearing they'll be perceived as unfriendly or unkind. However, setting boundaries isn't about shutting people out, it's about creating the space necessary to thrive. At its heart, addressing boundary disregard is about reclaiming control over your life in a respectful and intentional way. It's not about confrontation but about clarity. The peace and independence you preserve by standing firm in your boundaries will enhance not only your quality of life but also your relationships with those who truly respect and value you. Remember that you deserve neighbors who honor your space and individuality, just as you honor theirs. Protecting your boundaries is not an act of selfishness, it's a declaration of self-respect, a vital part of living with dignity, freedom, and peace in your later years. 3. The negative Nancy or Norman. Life in our later years offers an opportunity to reflect, savor the present, and focus on what truly matters. However, this sense of peace and fulfillment can easily be disrupted by neighbors whose outlook on life is perpetually clouded by negativity. The presence of such individuals, those who consistently complain, criticize, or exude an air of pessimism, can weigh heavily on the emotional and mental well-being of those around them. Negativity is like a slow, creeping shadow that can seep into your thoughts and dull your spirit. Conversations with these neighbors often start with a barrage of grievances. The weather is always too cold or too hot. The community isn't what it used to be, and there's no shortage of complaints about the state of the world or the behavior of others. At first, you may feel sympathy, compelled to lend a listening ear or offer reassurance. However, over time, their endless stream of discontent can erode your own positivity, leaving you feeling emotionally drained or even questioning your perspective on life. For seniors, this kind of energy can be particularly detrimental during a time when health and happiness depend so much on cultivating joy and gratitude. Prolonged exposure to negativity can foster feelings of anxiety, irritability, or hopelessness. The conversations that start as minor irritations can grow into a persistent sense of unease, turning your home, your sanctuary, into a place where you must guard against the emotional weight of someone else's discontent. The most insidious aspect of negative neighbors is their tendency to trap others in their worldview. They might subtly discourage you from pursuing activities you enjoy, warning of dangers or pointing out flaws. They may sow seeds of doubt about others in the community, fostering division and mistrust. Without realizing it, you may find yourself carrying their burdens, worries, and dissatisfaction as if they were your own. But it's important to remember that their negativity is not your responsibility to bear. While you may empathize with their struggles or frustrations, you are under no obligation to internalize their outlook on life. Your priority must be to protect your own emotional well-being, nurturing the joy and optimism that allow you to thrive in your golden years. Navigating relationships with negative neighbors requires a blend of compassion and self-preservation. Start by acknowledging their feelings without allowing their negativity to dominate the conversation. Redirect discussions to more neutral or positive topics, gently steering away from complaints and toward shared interests or uplifting subjects. If they persist in their negativity, it's okay to limit your time with them or establish boundaries that protect your peace. It's also essential to counterbalance these interactions by surrounding yourself with positivity. Seek out neighbors, friends, or family members who lift your spirits and remind you of life's beauty. Engage in activities that bring you joy, whether it's tending your garden, walking in nature, volunteering, or joining a local group that shares your interests. The more you fill your life with light, the less space there will be for negativity to take hold. Your golden years are a time to celebrate the richness of life, not to be weighed down by the darkness of others' perspectives. By recognizing the impact of negative neighbors and taking steps to protect your emotional health, you can ensure that your days remain filled with hope, gratitude, and the peace that comes from a life well lived. Let the light of your own outlook shine brightly, a beacon of resilience and positivity in the face of life's challenges. 4. The reckless rule breaker. Living in a neighborhood should bring a sense of safety, community, and mutual respect. As we age, these qualities become even more essential, forming the foundation of a peaceful environment where we can enjoy our golden years. However, the presence of a reckless rule breaker, someone who disregards the norms and guidelines that maintain order, can disrupt this harmony and leave you feeling uneasy, even in your own home. The reckless rule breaker might take many forms. They may speed through residential streets without regard for the safety of children, pets, or other neighbors. They could host loud gatherings late into the night, ignoring noise regulations and disrupting your much-needed rest. Perhaps they neglect their property, allowing overgrown lawns, clutter, or disrepair to tarnish the beauty of the neighborhood. Whatever their specific actions, the common thread is a lack of consideration for the shared space and the people who live there. For seniors, these behaviors can create not only annoyance but also genuine concern. A speeding car in a quiet community isn't just a nuisance, it's a danger. The disregard for rules that protect everyone can leave you feeling vulnerable, unsure if your well-being is truly valued by those around you. These situations can also escalate into conflicts, turning what should be a place of refuge into a source of stress. The emotional toll of dealing with a reckless neighbor can be significant. Their actions might make you question whether your voice or concerns will be heard, leading to feelings of frustration or helplessness. You might feel conflicted, wanting to maintain harmony while also yearning for the peace and security that their behavior disrupts. In some cases, these neighbors can even create divisions within the community, forcing others to choose sides or ignore the issues entirely. Addressing such challenges requires both courage and strategy. Begin by recognizing your right to live in a neighborhood that values respect and safety. This isn't about being overly demanding, it's about ensuring that the environment you call home supports your well-being. When you feel comfortable, approach the neighbor calmly and express your concerns in a non-confrontational way. Often, people aren't fully aware of how their actions affect others, and a polite conversation can go a long way. If direct communication doesn't yield results, don't hesitate to involve the appropriate channels. Many communities have homeowners associations or local authorities that can mediate disputes and enforce rules. These resources exist to maintain balance and fairness, and using them doesn't mean you're being unreasonable. It means you're advocating for the shared good of the neighborhood. While navigating these situations, focus on what you can control. Invest in relationships with neighbors who share your values and who appreciate the importance of mutual respect. Engage in activities that bring you joy and connect you with others who prioritize a harmonious environment. By building these connections, you can create a buffer against the negativity that rule-breaking neighbors might introduce. Remember, your home is your sanctuary, and the neighborhood around it should enhance, not diminish, your sense of peace and security. By standing firm in your expectations and seeking resolution with grace, you can ensure that your golden years are spent in a place where respect and care prevail. The actions of a few shouldn't overshadow the beauty of community. With patience and persistence, you can reclaim the harmony that makes a neighborhood feel like home. 5. The overly competitive neighbor. In our later years, life often takes on a simpler, more fulfilling rhythm. It becomes less about achievements or comparisons and more about cherishing the moment, nurturing relationships, and finding peace within ourselves. Yet even in this stage of life, there are neighbors who carry with them an incessant need to compete, a drive to outdo others that can disrupt the calm and contentment you've worked so hard to build. The overly competitive neighbor might seem harmless at first, even charming. They boast about their garden, their new car, or the latest renovation to their home. However, beneath the surface lies a persistent need to compare and surpass, turning what should be a supportive community into a stage for rivalry. They may subtly, or not so subtly, suggest that your efforts don't quite measure up, whether it's the flowers in your yard, the quality of your home's exterior, or even the activities you choose to enjoy. For seniors, this dynamic can be particularly exhausting. It challenges the contentment that comes from embracing what you have and who you are. The pressure to keep up can creep in, urging you to make unnecessary purchases or changes, not because you truly want or need them, but because you feel you're falling behind. This kind of competition can drain not only your finances but also your energy and joy, leaving you with a sense of inadequacy at a time when you should feel most confident and fulfilled. What makes the overly competitive neighbor so troubling is their ability to blur the lines between community and rivalry. Instead of celebrating each other's successes or sharing in collective joys, their behavior fosters division, encouraging comparison over connection. Over time, this can erode the spirit of camaraderie that makes a neighborhood feel like a true home. The key to dealing with such neighbors lies in grounding yourself in your values and priorities. Remember, your worth is not determined by the size of your house, the lushness of your lawn, or the number of activities on your schedule. True fulfillment comes from knowing who you are and embracing what brings you peace, not from measuring yourself against someone else's yardstick. When faced with competitive remarks or gestures, respond with kindness but firmness. Acknowledge their accomplishments without feeling the need to one-up them. For instance, if they comment on their newly remodeled kitchen, you might say, "It sounds like you're really proud of that project. Good for you!" and leave it at that. By refusing to engage in their game, you quietly assert your own sense of self-assurance. It's also important to focus on building relationships with neighbors who value authenticity and support over competition. Seek out those who share your outlook on life, who appreciate the beauty of simplicity and celebrate each other's individuality. These are the neighbors who will enrich your golden years, offering genuine and uplifting friendship. Finally, take pride in the life you've built, regardless of how it compares to others. The flowers in your garden, however modest, bloom with the care and love you've given them. The home you've created reflects your journey, tastes, and memories. Let these truths guide you, reminding you that the richness of life isn't found in outdoing others but in appreciating the beauty and blessings of your own path. By keeping your focus on what truly matters, you can maintain the peace and fulfillment defining a life well lived. Let the overly competitive neighbor chase their victories. You have already won the greatest prize of all, a life filled with meaning, joy, and the quiet contentment of knowing what truly makes your heart happy. 6. The all-night party host. As we grow older, the value of a good night's rest becomes immeasurable. Sleep is the cornerstone of our physical health, emotional balance, and overall well-being. But for some neighbors, the concept of quiet evenings and respectful boundaries seems foreign. The all-night party host, a neighbor who regularly throws loud, boisterous gatherings that stretch into the early hours, can disrupt the peace even in the most tranquil community. Their loud music, clinking glasses, and bursts of laughter may seem like harmless fun to them, but for seniors who treasure their rest, these disturbances can be deeply unsettling. Sleep deprivation caused by such noise is not just an annoyance, it can lead to real health consequences, from increased stress levels to heightened risks of chronic illnesses like heart disease or diabetes. Beyond the physical impact, being forced to endure sleepless nights can leave you feeling frustrated, powerless, and even resentful in your own home. Dealing with such a neighbor can be especially challenging, as their actions often feel personal. They're not just disrupting a neighborhood rule, they're intruding on your sense of peace and security. Yet it's important to remember that these behaviors are often rooted in thoughtlessness rather than malice. Many party hosts fail to consider how their actions affect others, caught up in their celebrations without pausing to reflect on the wider community. Addressing this issue requires a combination of patience and assertiveness. Begin by approaching your neighbor during a calm moment, never during or immediately after a noisy party. Express your concerns respectfully, focusing on how their actions affect you, rather than accusing them outright. For instance, you might say, "I wanted to share how much I value my sleep for my health, and sometimes the noise from late-night gatherings makes it difficult. I'd appreciate it if you could keep the volume lower during late hours." Framing your request in terms of your needs can foster understanding rather than defensiveness. If direct communication doesn't bring about change, it may be necessary to involve your community's guidelines or local noise ordinances. Many neighborhoods have clear rules about acceptable noise levels, especially during nighttime hours. Don't hesitate to document repeated disturbances and report them through appropriate channels if the issue persists. This isn't about causing conflict, it's about protecting your right to a peaceful home environment. In the meantime, consider practical steps to minimize the impact of their noise. White noise machines, earplugs, or soundproofing measures can help create a buffer against disruptive sounds. While these solutions aren't ideal, they can offer some relief while you work toward a resolution. Ultimately, your golden years are a time to prioritize your well-being and tranquility. While an all-night party host might seem like an unavoidable nuisance, addressing the issue with kindness and firmness can help restore the peace you deserve. Remember that, even in the presence of such challenges, your home remains your sanctuary, a place where your rest, comfort, and happiness come first. Choosing peace in the neighborhood of life. In the tapestry of life, the relationships we form and the communities we inhabit play a crucial role in shaping our well-being. As we age, this truth becomes even more pronounced. Our surroundings and the people within them have the power to either uplift us or weigh us down. Choosing to navigate these dynamics wisely is not just about maintaining peace, it's about protecting the sacred sanctuary of our golden years. The neighbors we choose to avoid, those who gossip, disregard boundaries, exude negativity, break rules recklessly, or live in perpetual competition, are not inherently bad people. Often their behaviors stem from their own struggles, insecurities, or unmet needs. However, it's not our responsibility to fix or accommodate these patterns, especially when they come at the expense of our own happiness, health, and peace. Protecting your peace doesn't mean shutting others out. It means being discerning about who you allow into your life and how much influence they have over your emotional and mental state. It's about setting boundaries not only with others but also within yourself, reminding yourself that your time, energy, and well-being are precious and worth safeguarding. As you move forward, focus on the connections that enrich your life. Seek out neighbors and friends who respect your space, celebrate your joys, and stand by you with kindness and sincerity. Surround yourself with those who inspire laughter, offer support, and share in the beauty of this stage of life. These are the people who will remind you of the joy of community, the comfort of shared understanding, and the simple yet profound truth that the most meaningful relationships are built on mutual respect and care. In your golden years, it's not about proving, pleasing, or enduring, it's about thriving, savoring, and being. By choosing to prioritize the people and experiences that bring you fulfillment, you're not only protecting your peace but also creating a legacy of resilience and self-respect. Let this be the season where you honor yourself and your journey, standing firm in the belief that you deserve a life filled with dignity, grace, and unshakable serenity. In the end, the neighborhood of life is not defined by the actions of others but by the boundaries we set, the choices we make, and the joy we nurture within. Choose wisely, live fully, and let the years ahead be your most beautiful yet. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.